What's going on, everybody? This is Captain Obvious. You guys are the 11 crew, and today is a very special episode for me. It is episode 50. Now, I know that it's just a number, but for me, I have hit 50 about, I think this is the third time now, my third series, and I generally tend to die down after that. That's where I usually get bored of Minecraft, and I've stopped a couple times. This time is different. This time is a lot different. I had a channel that had 650 subs at one point, and then I just walked away from it. I just gave it up because I was bored of Minecraft, and anything else I tried to put on the channel, well, you guys know how that goes, right? It just, people didn't accept it. They wanted Minecraft. But this time is different, and that's because, I don't know, I'm supercharged. I have this fantastic community. Even with all the subs I had last time, I didn't have anywhere near the type of community that I have this time. This time around, there's a certain feel to it, right? There's more to it. It feels different to me. It feels more supportive. And the motivation is very, very strong. I have no desire to slow down playing this game. I do want to obviously add other things, but that's not what we're here for today. We're here for Minecraft, right? Episode 50. The reason I'm starting off here is if you guys ever went back and watched episode 1, which I highly recommend you do, not just for me, but for anybody whose series you like, who you may have come in late, start from the beginning. I remember I did that with Etho years ago. I did that with Zuma. I did that with a bunch of Scar. I was like, I can't start in the middle. I got to go all the way back. And I watched from episode 1 all the way. But again, you don't have to do, don't have to do it for me, but I do suggest that people you really enjoy, who you haven't seen from the beginning, I highly suggest watching it. So anyway, so this is where we started. Okay, we started right here. The spawn was right here. Yeah, it was in line with this. So it was right here. This is where I actually started in the world. Okay, now the funny thing is, right over here where this is, where that building and this was a huge lake. A really big lake that was actually one layer down. Okay, I think the step was somewhere around here, like right where this is. It was actually one lower, and it was a lake, and it was just all wilderness over there. Obviously, there's a jungle. The jungle came out a lot further. Huge hill was right here, right? There was a hill that was probably up to about here. Huge hill that I got rid of. I do suggest you just go back and look at episode 1 because it's just really interesting to see, you know, how it all kind of just panned out. But I started with this. Now, I didn't do a traditional starting with like a dirt house. I even said something like picture episode 5 or something like that when you're watching this, because I hate like when people first start. The first couple episodes are always the same for people, right? They're always like build a dirt house and let's get some. I don't want that. So I had already dug this entire thing out, and I had already built this little biome, right? This little cactus biome. It has changed a lot. I reshaped it since that first episode, but that's where we started out. This was originally blue and gray on the floor, right? And it was going to be a squid farm, which I actually attempted to do. Just never panned out. It never worked out. Okay, then I actually had an iron farm here with cactus coming all the way up as like decoration. And I got rid of that because there was a bug like early on the I started this world in the Xbox One version, by the way, before I switched it to Bedrock Edition. And there was a bug where villagers would disappear. And so I had the village over there, right? The sand village, which I was lucky enough to spawn next to. Got them all over here very slowly in boats. Okay. Made a nice iron farm. I used to stand inside. I think the treehouse is the second episode, right? I used to just stand inside the treehouse right about here, right on the other side of that, safe, and it would just produce, and it was great. And then I started noticing the villagers disappearing, and they weren't breeding because I didn't have any kind of breeding system set up until we got down to the last one, and then I just killed them out of anger, tore it down. And then I put this mob farm here. But the funny thing is, right here, okay, where those squares are, up to about right here, was a mob farm that went really high into the sky. And it worked extremely well on the Xbox One version, okay? And then when I switched it to beta, I'm sorry, it wasn't on the Xbox One version with the Iron Farm, the villagers. It was when I switched it to the Bedrock Edition. Then the villagers started disappearing. And also the mob farm basically just didn't work anymore because you guys already know that mob spawning is different. So I tore down that entire thing, and it was huge. And I built this one over here because I already had the hole, right? So then I decided to use the hole. And just in case you guys have never seen what's down here, I did an episode on it. But this is where I go mining. Now it's not low, so I don't mine. This is not where I mine for diamonds. I usually go further down for diamonds, which is not really. There's nothing there, so I'm not even going to show it to you. It's just like a little. I might as well. Yeah, it's just like a little basement, right? And then I usually go digging for diamonds. Where did I put my hole? Right down here. So you go there, and there's like a whole bunch of offshoots, and that's where I get my diamonds from. Eventually I'm going to make several layers of this mine, right? But this is where I just get a lot of my stone from, dirt, a lot of andesite, a lot of diorite, granite. You guys know I use that in my builds, right? This is an automatic system, so if we go back here. Oh, by the way, I'm in create. I made a copy of my world, and I'm in creative, so I don't want you to think that you know, this is how I always play. No, this is just a copy of the world. Right, so you just got a basic system back here, nothing crazy. For those of you that actually watched, again, I used to have this awesome system where you could see it, right? So you would come out here, and then there'd be a glass tube that was up to here with water, right? That ended up going inside the system, so you can actually see the mob drops fall, and they get sucked up. But as most things do in Minecraft, after you kind of exploit a bug. It got fixed, so I could not use the item elevator anymore, you know, where you just put like glass and surround it on top of a dropper or dispenser and it shoots up. So that got fixed. So what I ended up doing was there's a whole bunch of hoppers that run underneath. Here, let's see if we can see it. So there's a whole bunch of hoppers that run underneath, and they come up right inside that wall. So inside that wall is where they come up from. Not as cool. Not as cool as it was, okay? It was way cooler when you were able to watch the items go up. It was really, really cool. But so be it. So be it. So that was the second episode, my little treehouse, right? And then I built this sheep farm because, you know, I was starting to map out how I wanted my base. So everything within this wall is like my main base, right? The wall's made out of iron. I still haven't finished, as you could tell. I'm just lazy. I haven't put this on top. I probably should have just did that really quick before I did this, but I'll eventually get that done. So I built this sheep farm, okay, which is awesome. So you come in here, right? You shear. Whoops. Can I not shear in creative? Oh my God, it's not letting me shear the sheep. That's really, really odd. Actually, the hitbox on this thing, I don't know what it is. It's not letting me shear the sheep. Let me just break this really quick. I don't know what's wrong. I literally was just doing this earlier in survival. So anyway, whatever. You shear the sheep, right? And it falls down. And then you flick this lever. And it comes, picks it up. There's a minecart underneath there. And then it all gets deposited in here. And the reason I don't have the minecart going all the time is because I don't know if it's been fixed. But I'm just too afraid to test it because I don't want to have to go back down there and redo it. But mine carts were broken in Bedrock for a while. They would just randomly disappear, just like the villagers. So I ended up just hooking up this switch. Made it a lot easier. Right? So whenever I'm here, I could just flick it, you know, and then when I'm not, I turn it off and I don't have to, you know, have that minecart going. And then on the sides, I just added a little tiny pumpkin farm, nothing crazy. We have our big pumpkin farm there, which we'll get to in a minute. Right? And then we added this storage here. It's basically just storage for that. I just wanted something kind of cool looking. I thought this was a nice transition from the portal over. And then we do our wall behind it. Right? Pretty cool. Nothing crazy. And then obviously we got our portal, which will go inside in a bit. And then this is where we keep all of our excess, you know, stuff from once we get inside the portal. Also, I keep extra stuff over here. So right around the middle here, we have a ton of stuff. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I don't think I've ever shown you this. See all these books? We used to have a really, really awesome AFK farm, AFK fish farm. Right, so these are all bows in these two rows. These are all fishing rod, fishing rods, all saddles, and I think that's it. Oh, and then boots. We used to have a really amazing AFK fish farm, which I originally had over here. Okay, and then there was another farm this doesn't work at all anymore, so I'm just going to take it down. But then this farm was for the Bedrock Edition. It worked right in the beginning, right? It worked really, really well right in the beginning, and now it's pretty much non-existent. Now it doesn't work at all, so that kind of sucks. I forget who built this. This was not my idea at all. I really had just kind of moved on because I had a lot of stuff at that point, and now that I have really good villagers to trade with, I really don't need too much of this anymore. All right, so here's my amazing fishing rod, and then these are the items that go back and forth on the clock. And I think there's still stuff inside this. Yeah, look at that. There's still stuff inside this chest, and there's another chest underneath too. Yeah. Any more? No, that's it. So I don't know if I've ever shown you guys that. And then before we do the top view, we come over here, right? Even though it says eggs, this is my cooked chicken farm. Chicken didn't fit, and I was like, yeah, I'll just put eggs, whatever. Just to remind myself I have to fill it with eggs. So it's automatic. Oh, I didn't know that was like that. It's automatic in terms of it'll go off automatically, like in this right here. The bucket will go off every day. So it'll dispense it for one day and not. But look at all this look at all this chicken. I come by every once in a while and take out the feathers. You're not supposed to have eggs, so I must have broken it when I was in creative. And then this llama just has been here for a long time, and these are kind of just like how soul sand is. I used to have soul sand over here too, by the way. I had soul sand for a while with some nether wart, and animals were just getting stuck. So I had like a ton of llamas and just all kinds of animals and mobs. I would get zombie villagers that would walk out here, and they would just get stuck, and I had a whole bunch lined up, which doesn't seem that bad. But before I got the Xbox One X, which is what I'm using now, this was so laggy. From all the hoppers down there, from all the different animals that we're going to get to in a minute. I have all my farms right here. I mean, there's a ton of chickens in there, a ton of cows, a ton of rabbits, a few pigs, all the horses. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this world, a lot of entity in this area. So I had to get rid of this because it was just keeping them there and kill all the mobs. But this produces a ton of chicken. I did a tutorial on this if you're interested. One that actually had eggs in the back. So the only thing I do have to do is come by every once in a while. As you can see, I did recently. And I just got to fill these up. And then I have a separate egg farm right here. Now I did do, you guys may have also seen, I did a tutorial for an amazing, which I'm going to be building over there actually, for an amazing auto-cooked chicken farm. It's really the only one you're ever going to need. There's a ton of them, right? There's a ton of them out there. Mine is fantastic. Mine makes a statement. It's bold. It looks really good. You know how I like to do it. You could do them super small, right? So this whole thing, you could do it without, all you need is the droppers underneath. You could do without all of this. So it's a really small chamber, right? This is very, very tiny. And then you can even add hoppers to the top and have it all in one. And I did a tutorial on that. I did a tutorial on this. And then I did a tutorial on this. This is just my egg station. Don't have to worry about cooked chicken or anything like that. Right? So that's pretty cool. And then I did a shameless plug. This used to be my logo back in the day, right? The little Space Invaders. That's how I started the one-man, one game. It was the one game that, the very first game I ever played. The game that started my love. That's what the one-man, one game means. It was the one game that started it all. And that was Space Invaders. So I had that logo, but then I thought, you know, it's copywritten, and why don't we move on? So this is my dedication. This is my little shameless plug at the time. And now it's my dedication statue to where I came from. So I absolutely love it. And then we built the Melkin Towers. So that's the the Melkin Towers, which are the melon and pumpkin. So the Melkin Twin Towers, right? Although they're not twin because they're not even. Eventually they're going to be super high. I'm just really, really lazy. And, oh, I forgot. I had these as placeholders. I didn't have lamps at the time, so I got to fill these in. But there's supposed to be lamps there. Right, and then every day this will go off, so. What's going on? Why is it not? Oh, that's because I was doing the wrong one. So see how those pumpkins are there? Oh, not pumpkins, melons. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, is this broken? Oh, no, that would stink. That would really, really, really be bad. So why does that not want to go? Do they not push melons anymore? Or is this just not updating them? Let's see. Is this putting out a signal? Oh, it's back to doing that again. Okay, so it's not putting out a signal. So the way I used to have it was like this. I didn't even realize this. There we go. So now every day it'll go off and it'll be like that. So I actually have to go back. Oh, that's good though. I get to keep. I get more of these. So all I got to do is just go through like that. Cool. That'll be a nice little project to do. I get all of those back. And then this right here didn't work at the time, but I think it will now. So let's see. We put that there. Hold on. Let me just see. Yeah, it'll light up now. Cool. Originally, I had put the melons here because the droppers were not giving you a signal, right? So whenever you had again, I had it like this originally, but these were not being lit because in the beginning on Bedrock, these were not outputting signals. It would take a signal, but none of the blocks underneath would light up. So I changed all of them from lamps to that, but now I can go ahead and put that back. All right, so cool. And then I eventually added the tower here. So once I fix it, as you can see, everything will be dropped in. And it's pretty cool. It gives me a decent amount, not crazy. I'm going to be building better ones. Okay, and then we got this right here, which surprisingly, it was my #1 video on the #1 tutorial on my channel for a very long time until my iron farm kind of took it over. But this right here is my #1 tutorial, which seems kind of crazy. It looks pretty seems pretty basic, which it is. But I guess people like the design. I love it. Okay, so what you do is you come to the back. You can have one chamber if you want. You don't need all of these chambers. I just wanted to fill the space. So you come in here, you breed them, right? And then you kill them. I actually have a sword that has flame on it and efficiency, so it kills them in one shot. And then for some reason there's been a ton of rabbits because there used to be rabbits all around here. And then this guy's here, right? And then you come to the front and you got all your goodies right here. As you can see, I've been using this a lot. So we got a lot of beef. So it's pretty cool. And obviously you get this as well. I happen to recently use all of the leather that's been in here. So that's cool. We got our 4-tier tower here, 4-tier crop farm. Again, just something to have in the world. People are always like, why don't you just build? Of course, I could build a ton of stuff that's efficient. I have, videos on it where you guys know I like to make things small and compact and they're super efficient. That's kind of the whole point of my tutorials is ease of use. Super simple, super efficient. But when you're running a world, when you're running an SMP, right? When you're running a world, you need to fill it with things, guys. You can't just, if you could have 7 or 8 different, crop farms. Like I can have a pumpkin farm there, a pumpkin farm there, a completely different one over there. I mean, you're going to be in different parts of the world at different times, right? So why not have them everywhere so they're always active? So whether you run from one zone to the next or not, you're always going to have that supply going, right? But I know a lot of times the other day, I forget who it was. I think it was November Games. I think he asked me like why I would do an aviary, which is what I want to build because he said birds are stupid. Birds are stupid. I agree. I said it as well. And the reason is why not? I mean, what else are you going to do? Once you run out of farms, what are you going to do, guys? You got to build fun stuff. I'm not building anything medieval. I'm not building castles. I mean, I have a castle, but I'm not sticking to a theme. I'm just kind of going creatively and doing what I need for the world. All right, so that's kind of how my world works. And then we got a rabbit farm here, badass rabbit farm, which I absolutely love. I titled it the best ever because I truly think it is. So they bounce up. You get some extra carrots in here. You feed them. All right, they have babies. You can either kill them now or wait till they grow up a little bit. Let's press that. And boom, it goes in here. Now, keep in mind, guys, I do have over 100 tutorials. So there's a tutorial on that. Just check the playlist. Just go to the tutorial playlist and just check it out. See if something catches your eye. I could leave links in the description, but I mean, maybe you guys could do a little bit of work if you're interested. Just search through really quick. But anyway, then we got this pig farm here, which is friggin' sweet. You just feed them, and the babies get forced out, right? They just get forced out. They fall down in there. They grow up, and they die. Same thing on this side. I've used this, let's see, quite a bit. Quite a bit. Not recently, right? And then after I got rid of the lake, I decided to put this back and just do sugarcane. You guys know I love sugarcane. I have the sugarcane over there too. And then that. But surprisingly, I don't really have a heavy-duty one farm, which I'm going to be getting soon. And then we got these right here. Right? So what I'm going to eventually be doing is changing these just to clerics. So we're going to have a cleric station here. And we're going to have a cleric station here. Not anytime soon, but if I happen to get a chance, I'm going to do it. And we actually got these guys from way over there. Actually, we'll do that right now. So if you ever watch that video, they come from the underground. I had a whole like train or rail station or railroads tracks coming down, and they fell down. It was pretty interesting how I did it. So what I would do is I'd come over here, right down in here, which I still have one. There he is. There's one right there. And I would just walk the zombie villagers. This, obviously I broke this wall, and I'd walk the zombie villager. I'd walk around the back. He came in, and I'd run out and place a block really quick. Then I would cure him, and then the train tracks were all over here. I'd get him onto the train or the rail, push him, and that's how I did it. Super long process, but that's how I did it. And while we're over here, one of my favorite things that I've ever built, which is still a prototype because it's not working too well, because I have yet to see a slime spawn in a swamp in this version. So they need to get on that, because that's really annoying. I don't want to just do underground slime farms. I like to have overworld ones. I've always had success with them. Like, more slime than I could ever use. And, yeah, so that sucks. So this is all ready to go. I think I have some mob drops in here. Nothing crazy. Yeah, there we go. But I'm also barely over here, so it's never loaded up. But we're going to be doing something pretty fun with the rest of this surrounding area. It's going to be crazy coming up. Very, very crazy coming up. And actually, while we're over here as well, I just want to give you a little overview. So I have my tree farm, right? You got all 6 trees. You got like the oak, what is that? The birch, the jungle, the acacia, the spruce, and the dark oak. I haven't finished it yet, but I've mapped it all out. All right, like this thing is huge. I don't know if you guys realize how far it is. All those little squares are the tree farm, and then it goes here, and then it meets back up where where this is right here, the cactus biome. So it's pretty cool. I also keep the rendering distance low, so that way the world, the file's not so big, and that way I can actually load up things as I need them, and it doesn't create a lot of lag. All right. So by the way, what's going to go here is going to be my mushroom towers. So I'm going to have 2 more towers here. I'm probably going to move them in a little bit though. So we're going to have a red tower and a brown tower, and that's going to kind of I do want to make them all even at some point, and that's going to kind of finish this area finally, because that's the only thing that's not finished. This was supposed to be a passive mob farm, but if you look in here, it's pretty much seems to be a lot of creepers. Excuse me, a lot of creepers, which is pretty crazy. Some chickens, a couple of cows, obviously there's some sheep, but for the most part, there's a lot of creepers that have been in here. So I guess it's like a little extra mob farm for me. This is that guy that I just asked you a few episodes ago up there who fell down, who just does not want to chase me. I mean, I'm in creative now, but he doesn't want to chase me anyway. So we're going to name him soon. I think probably the next episode I do, I'll name him first. You guys gave me a couple of funny ideas. And then this is my horse stable. I'm really proud of it. I love the way it came out. Right? Love it, love it, love it. Come in here. Right? This is just the extra area. You can store store extra armor that you find around the world and craft and stuff. Or I think it's just, no, I don't think you can craft that. I think those you just find. We got our zombie horse in here. Okay. We lost Clifford. We have that memorial over there for him, a memorial statue, or just a memorial little plaque for him. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, and then I put these vines here. This is just a mini vine farm for now. I'm going to be making a much bigger one coming up and getting rid of all of these to kind of clean it up a bit. Because if you actually look, I haven't finished the wall here. So it's just kind of been holding it. to make it look good. All right, then we have the horse training area here. You could jump with the horses and see how they are. So I think this one's 3 high, 2 high, another 3 high, and then 4 high. And then just, you know, in here, very, very small. And at some point, we're going to be setting up a huge arena, like a huge racetrack. That's coming in the next 50 episodes at some point. So some big things there. All right, and then we just come over here. Come up here a little bit. You guys have seen, I've started many, many episodes up here. And then we got one of my favorite builds, just a small castle. This is, oh my goodness, what do they call it? King Jigsaw. All right, so we got King Jigsaw's castle. There he is standing, giving out his orders, and all of his men are standing guard with their swords. All right, you come in here. Oh, look at that. There's been a skeleton. Right, and then you got a little atrium in the back. Get out of his courtyard. It's a little atrium here. Oops, I got my boots on still. Let's get rid of those. And I just love everything about it. I love everything about this build. There's been so many castles that have been done. I just wanted to put my take on it. It's a nice small castle. I feel like there's a lot of design. And we also have some guards who, as you can see, some of them have disappeared. I didn't name them. I probably should have named them. Oh, these are all gone too. Wow. There we go. So we do have some extra guards standing in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and make some more. And then this is Jigsaw Village. Right, this is the people that he rules over. Very, very small village here. Just 5 houses. Right, and then they got a little watchtower up here, which again I love. I tried to keep everything in the same style, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. All right, so all the houses are supposed to be like a little jigsaw puzzle kind of looking thing. I don't know. That's how it looks in my mind. And then this little area down here, the water shoots down from. We have just a nice little area. I think it looks really pretty. This is one of my favorite builds. All right, so that we got, like you can see him in there. Oh, only one area where you can view it. That's crazy. So anyway, so this is my villager trading hall, and it's also, get off of that. It is also an extra iron farm. Not much. It does not do a lot, but I added this little ring on the outside because the iron golems will spawn on top of this, on these blocks right here, the solid ones, right? And then if they walk out, they'll actually be guided down, and then they fall into the 4 little areas here with the lava, and you can look in here and see a ton of, you know, we have a decent, I shouldn't say a ton, we have a decent amount of iron in here, right? Decent amount of iron. Oh, and then we have some trading items that I got. Iron pickaxe from, I believe, this guy. Yeah, toolsmith. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to actually go through and redo it now that we got a lot of the new items for the aquatic update. Here's another one of my favorite items, or my favorite builds. Very simple. Like I think it looks pretty elegant on the outside. Right, very simple, nothing too crazy. Just a few curves. But in here, whoops, it's an automatic egg farm. That just chicken farm. But this one, I mean, I obviously use my flame sword, so I get chicken from it as well. But what I use this for is an extra XP farm. Okay, it just gives me enough levels to do what I need to do. So let's say I just want to name a couple things and I don't have many levels. I'll just leave this on, you know, go about doing my stuff. There you go. You can see them coming out, right? And they'll just keep going. There are a ton of hoppers up there. And we have indication lights on the side. So it's actually low right now. So the middle one indicates that there's 4 hoppers that are filled, right? Then there's 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one will be 8. And then this one will be another 8. So it's actually, so once all 3 are filled, we have 9, 10, 11. We have 12 hoppers on this side filled. This always goes off. I may get rid of that. And then another 12 on this side. So there's a lot. There's a lot of eggs that eventually get stored up. Here is our memorial to poor little Clifford, who was killed by a skeleton while traveling around the world, helping me look for other villages. So that was pretty sad. Moment of silence for old Clifford there. And then we got this little area which I love, right? I've been trying to add a little more detail into the world. I'm not see, for me, like, everybody's different, right? I'm not a fan of like too much of like putting things up like that around your world. That's just not my style. I may do it in some areas, but I feel like if somebody's taking the time to actually put down a road, they're not going to leave just weird, like they're not going to leave like weird things like this around the world. That's just how I feel. I feel like if they're taking their time to clear everything out, I'm thinking about like, you know, when malls and things go up near me on the main roads, they blast the rock, they make everything flat, and then they build it up. But I did still want to have some of that, like the design in the floor. So I just mixed it up, and I think it came out really well. I think it turned out really, really well. I love the trees, how they're all interconnected. I'm going to do the same thing on that side eventually once I go over here. I'll have it just kind of continue. This is another really fun build that I had. This is obviously, they're just regular silos, right? There's 6 of them. They're regular. But I just kind of put them together, and I wrapped it around. Have a little bit of hint of glowstone popping out. I just think it adds a nice little touch. And my dirt here is pretty much full. I don't have too much more to go. But everything else, yeah, definitely room to grow. Okay, we can get rid of these for now, stairs. And then these are bone blocks, and these are my 4. We're going to do a whole flyover later on to see how awesome the world is. But these are my 4 biome domes, and they're basically just for fun. Right, so you come in here, you got mushrooms. But I could use them to harvest stuff if I need to. Right, so you got your mushrooms here. Okay. And these are your brown mushrooms. You come in here, you got your red mushrooms and your nether wart. So you got mushrooms inside, and you got nether wart on the outside. And look, see what I mean? The animals get stuck. Look at this. I didn't even notice that. Animals just walk in and get stuck. Oh, this is right. This one is the Clifford Memorial Mushroom. I forgot. I dedicated because it's red. I dedicated it to Clifford. And then you got blue in here. So I tried to make it look like a blue mushroom. All right, so we got blue, and it's actually the same. It looks identical in design to that one. I just copied that design, but I used blue. And you got your, what are they called? Blue azure? What are those called? Blue orchids. What is the azure then? Oh, that's these. That's azure bluets. That's why I was thinking of blue. So these are the blue orchids. All right. By the way, I kept it on always day in case you're wondering why it's not nighttime. Because we're doing a video. And then, oh, look at that. That creeper stole a block. That son of a gun. And then the same thing here. Try to have like a green mushroom. And we come inside and we just, again, just for decoration. I'm really proud of how it came out. I'm really, really happy. I may add more later on. But for now, we got that going. All right. And then we got this right here. Right? We got sugar. Oh, man. What did I call this? I completely forgot what I call this now. Oh, no. That's not good. Well, anyway, we got a whole bunch of sugarcane here. You could run across on. This is pretty much what I use right now to harvest it. But like I said, eventually, I'm going to be doing that big build that I just did a tutorial on. I'm going to go all the way up to the sky. So these are all custom trees here. I like the way they turned out. Okay, then we have Wheat Mountain and a nice little design on top. Just because I think that as you're walking down, and this mountain was actually here, but I think as you're walking down, it just kind of adds something, right? So this is what the shape of this is how the shape of the mountain was. I think I just changed it just a little bit, nothing crazy, right? And yeah, it's just for design. Oh, look at that. Gotta fix that too. Just built this recently, right? I still haven't even filled it up yet. This is my my sheep factory. So the sheep are in the top. And then what I do is I stand underneath here. I look up and I can shear them and they fall down. And even if the ones that get stuck, it's low enough, I just jump up. Right? So that's kind of cool. This whole thing will be filled up. Hopefully there's not a lot of lag. And then all the colors are going to go here, just in case I ever want to dye them. Right? So we're going to start with the white and just work our way down. These are obviously all more current builds. So now we got my kelp farms, my 2 of them. They do the same thing. I just thought it would look kind of nice here. Right? And then we got my auto furnace, which has been hard at work. I got a lot of stuff in there. I don't think there's anything in here, right? Just a couple. Right? So that's there. And then this whole area is going to eventually be, it's going to have a top to it and look really, really nice when it's all done. We're going to add some pixel art up here as well for the sheep. And then moving on, one of my all-time favorite builds, the potions within a potion. So this is a fully functioning potion brewer, and it's all kept within a little potion 3D pixel art. Really happy with that. That's one of my favorite builds. Okay, and then we just come up here. Still in progress, still a work in progress. But as I was saying over there, I don't like to bring things up too much. Like, you know, just have little designs. I might end up doing that here because I feel like this would be the place to do it. But again, still trying to get some kind of design down. I like it. Right, and then we got our potion storage, which I still haven't filled up yet. I had to redo this whole thing because I had lost some footage. Had to redo that and redo some of that as well. Right, but this is our potion storage here. So we're going to have all my splash potions of healing in here, all my splash potions of regen, and all the way around. And I think I have a few extra slots actually, which is kind of cool. So we come over here, right? And this is our enchanting room. I like the way it came out. So I'm really proud of that. Just the design, just kind of unique, right? I haven't finished the floor yet, but I will. And then we got, again, I don't know, feeling super creative in this world. So this was our art piece that we created using randomizers. So we came over here, we pushed the button. This gave us a direction, like up, down, left, right, back, forward. And then over here, behind each of these, there's a dropper that gave us a different item, and depending on how many fell out, that's how many we had to put. And again, I think it looks pretty good. I did cover it up, and I haven't yet gotten the answer yet because the episodes have not come out yet. But I have a feeling you guys are not going to like this, so I'm probably going to be taking this down. But as of right now, that's how it stands. And then I started doing some more of the floor. I was going to bring the floor up to about here. Right, I was going to just do that, but I don't know if I like that. I have no idea yet, but that was my thinking. Okay, we got our tropical fish museum, which I love. I absolutely love this thing. Right, caught all those fish. That was a really fun episode. Caught all the fish. I'm gonna eventually put a book down here. I was thinking about it, and then Mr. Griffith on I think it was Twitter, he had said to do it. He thinks it's a good idea as well, but to put a little twist on it. So I'm not going to ruin what the twist will be in case you might have already seen it, but if you haven't, I don't want to ruin it. All right, so we got a little Lorax fish on top. Again, I love it. I literally just finished building this. Just finished this episode up maybe 5-10 minutes before I started recording. So I'm literally fresh out of doing this. One of my favorite episodes to record. The ending to me was just the best ending on any video I've had, just because of how interesting it was. So if you have not seen episode 49, please watch it. I highly suggest it. Even if you only watch the ending from, like, I don't know, the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe of the video, it's worth it. I think it's funny. Just it's just one of those things you're like, oh my god, how did that actually happen? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, pretty cool. Griffith right here, as you can see, is our first inductee. And then we got another zombie villager down there. Again, if you watch the episode, you'll know exactly what that is. Before we go do our see our iron farm, I'm going to show you one more thing that I just realized I forgot over here. Oh, two things, because we have to go into the end as well, or the nether as well. Okay, so if we come down here, this has actually been super popular. I'm really happy people like the design. I'm super happy with how it came out. Right, so we got our spiders in there. For some reason, they don't want to spawn. Am I on hard? Let's see. Yeah, I'm on hard. I don't know why they don't want to spawn, but anyway, spiders are supposed to spawn. It's another really, really good video. And, or at least I had a lot of fun making it. There we go. And then they'll spawn and they'll pretty much die. Like right away. And I did get a lot of good advice from this one, where people were saying, like, if I dropped it, they would be out of the cap. And I know that. I knew that from the beginning. It was really just laziness. I didn't want to have to lower it any more than I already did. But if I just drop this a little bit, I'll get probably a higher spawn rate, because they'll be dropping out of the the cap immediately. But guys, I mean, if you just stand here, you would not believe how many drops you get. Right? It's just craziness how many drops you get. And you'll also get like bones and arrows from the jockeys that come in here. So it's pretty cool. Why did I get redstone? Oh, I just threw that in. All right, so now we're gonna head over to the Nether, and then I'll do an overhead view, and then we'll go to the iron farm and we'll call it quits. All right, so oops, let's go into the Nether. Nothing really going on here. I very rarely go there, but I have cleared all of this out. All right, so I've cleared all of this out. This farm does not work anymore because when I switched the worlds over, I lost my spawner, which sucks. And I had posted a question to you guys as to whether or not I should... I don't want to put my world on creative. What I wanted to do was just allow for these, like commands and stuff, because I was just going to give myself a spawn egg and just put the blaze back in there because, you know, it's not my fault. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just converted the world and I lost all of my hard work. But everybody said it was cheating, and you know, I don't want to have people feel that way. But look what I found. Okay, this is going to be an upcoming episode. Actually, it's going to be one of the first 3 upcoming episodes that we do after this one. So there's a blaze spawner here. So I think I'm just going to do my roller coaster blaze spawner farm, and I'm just going to take them and I'm just going to run it through here, drop them off, and because I already have the killing chamber. Whoops. I already have the... get in there. I already have the killing chamber already set up. Right? So I have some blaze rods in there already. Anything on this side? No. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that because why waste it, right? I already have it all set up. And that's pretty much it in the end. The Nether, I really don't come here. I mean, every once in a while I'll run. Where is it? Here we go. I'll go out that way and I'll like, look for wither skeletons to kill. But nothing really spawns in here at all. I was going to put cages and stuff here, but I think what I have to do is go out that way a lot further and then start half slabbing outside of these walls, because if you break these walls, look at that. I mean, there's all of this spawning space. You can even see it up here. So I think what I have to do is just start half slabbing the Nether. It's going to take a long time. And then obviously more stuff will spawn in here. Okay, so now let's do an overhead view. One of my favorite things to do in my world is to just look down, because it's just like individually, you know, it's like okay or whatever, right? But when you look at it from up above, I just think it looks really cool. All right, so we got that, and then we come over here. This part looks a lot cooler with the domes and then the art pieces and stuff. But I mean, it's fairly large. You know what I mean? So I think what I'll do is I'm going to take a little screenshot with you guys. I think this is going to be my screenshot. And then while we're going over, I'll talk about like upcoming videos and stuff while we're heading over to the iron farm, where I like to go AFK. That looks like a pretty good thing to me. Oh, you know what? Let's turn it maybe. I'll give myself 2 options just in case. There we go. Okay, so let's head over. So the way we go to the iron farm is we just follow the path that I made, which is not really finished yet. It's just cobblestone. Oh, look at that. That's the half mansion that never fully developed in the world. And look how close it is to our base. That's pretty cool. So anyway, why have I not been to the end or fought the wither yet? And there's a very simple reason for that. I'm terrible at fighting them. I'm terrified and I'm terrible. I have never beaten the wither other than in a world with some friends, like, I don't know, when I streamed, right, just to get the achievements. I have never beaten the wither by myself, ever. I'm 0-3 with the wither fights. I suck at it. I'm really bad. And what I mean by 0-3 is I mean I give up. Like I'll fight him for like 20 minutes and I just give up. I don't know why I'm so bad. I've beaten the dragon a bunch of times, but I just don't like doing it. So there's that. So I've actually never been to an end city ever. I've seen it. A bunch of people have done it. I've never been. So we're gonna be fighting the dragon probably within the next 10 episodes. And the wither, I don't know. I don't really want him ruining this world. I don't know if you can spawn him in the Nether, but I might spawn him in the Nether if you could, because that'd be kind of cool. And I don't think you can spawn him in the end. I know you can get him in there, like you could trick him. So that might be something to try. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's my iron farm. It fully realized iron farm. Okay, it has I've been wiping this thing out recently. I mean, there's still a lot, but I have been absolutely decimating the supply and taking a lot of it over to my my main world. Sorry about that cut, guys. My throat got really dry. Allergies are really starting to kick in very badly. So anyway, yeah, this is fun. Now, what I actually want to do, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It was one of the first tutorials I did when I started doing Minecraft again on this channel. And that was actually build this. What it is you can hook up a gold farm to the top, right? And then in the center, you would get rid of the lava, and you have the iron golems. Who was that just died? It looked like a villager. But you have the iron golems and the zombie pigmen, and they fight. And it's awesome. It's really cool. And you get a ton of gold, and you get a ton of iron, and it's just really awesome. But on the sides, you actually add underneath here, right? So let me go back into this, and then underneath it, right here, you add a minecart, okay, and then you drop down the sides here. It's really cool. There's 4 of them, and you can also have an auto carrot farm, because as they try to you know, mate with each other right there, they'll pick that up and then they'll replant. And then obviously, once the inventory's full, you'll get all of those carrots back. And it's, oh man, it works so well. When I remember when I did the testing for that one video, I left it running for about 3 days straight, and I had a whole tube, right? It was like, I don't know, somewhere over here, whatever it was, but it was actually connected. It looked really nice, and they were all hoppers. So I had a double chest on the bottom on each side that was filled with carrots, and like so many of the hoppers were filled too. Plus, in the chest, they were like overflowing with iron ingots and gold. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that's a pretty cool farm that I have. Now that's one of the first ones. I think it was called the Midas Touch. So if you're interested in it, just type in Midas Touch one man one game into YouTube, and it should pop right up. And then real quick, I forgot about this before we end it. And then in here, right in here, we have another spider spawner. Old school. I went with like cacti. Really old school. I love it. I just kind of did a little design right here. Even gave a bed so we could just sleep. And then, as you can see down here, we got some string. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just a couple different designs for the same kind of thing. Figure why not do something different rather than build the same thing everywhere. But anyway, that is where we're going to end it, guys. So big plans coming up. Like I said, we are going to be going to the end within the next 50 episodes. Probably within the next 10. We are going to be fighting the Wither maybe within the next 50 episodes. I'm just so scared. My whole thing is that those two things feel like end games to me, right? You beat the Wither, you beat the Dragon. There are 2 bosses. What else? What else is left? You know, as a gamer, I'm conditioned once you beat a boss, the game is over. Now, I know this is not that kind of game, but it's like mentally, it still feels like game over. You know, I like to always feel like I have something else to do, if that makes any sense. You know, I want to feel like there's still more for me to accomplish. So that way, let's say I ever get to a point where I'm just feeling like lack of creativity, right? At least I know I can always fight one of the 2 bosses. Oh, and then real quick, this is the only place I've ever seen slime in this world. I didn't even make this. This is natural. It's down here. So you'll see. Oh no, it was on Twitter. I posted a little video one time as I was building this, the platform up there. I looked down and I saw slime, and I just went down here. So there's obviously a chunk over here, and I killed him. And then after that, I kept calling here, and I would find him every once in a while. So that's how I have my slime, but I don't have much. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for 50 episodes and hanging in with me and supporting me. You know, the channel just hit a year, right? I think I started this series way back on July 5th of last year. So the day after July 4th, obviously. So this series is not even a year old yet. 50 episodes. I'm really happy with the progress. I'm really thankful for the support. If you guys ever have any ideas as to what you want to see me build, even if it's crazy, Griff always hits me with some crazy ideas, and I've used a lot of them. Right? We beat ideas off each other all the time. So just let me know in the comments. You know, this is a community. Maybe it's something you guys don't want to build and you want to just see if somebody else can come up with it. Give it a shot. Just, you know, let me know in the comments. But my comment section is important to me. You know, so if you guys watch the video, leave some feedback. I don't even care if it's you hate it. Just something. So positive, negative, constructive, just anything. I appreciate it. You know, I wanna get really involved with you guys, with the community, and that's why I'm always asking you whether or not you like something or I should take it out or whatever it is, because, you know, I want this to be a two-way street. All right, but 50 episodes down, a lot more to go. Super excited. Thank you guys so much. Cat out. Peace.